What is up, everybody? This is your man Dre Mac with another episode of the Dre Mac Show. This particular episode we're going to talk about black representation. Are we being represented? Are we blackwashing characters? Or not us, or is studios blackwashing characters to appease us? What is the deal to show representation or diversity in their films? And I'm going to have a special guest. I'm waiting for D Real. Be Real with D Real to come through. YouTube is his YouTube channel. We're gonna come through. We're gonna talk about it. Of course, for right now, you got me. So you better be happy with what you got. And that's me. I just playing. We're gonna go ahead and get this thing started. You already know what it is. The real question is,
Are you ready?
all right. Oh, and I think I'm gonna put up a poll. Um, because this is a good question. Is race swap characters? I'm getting this together, and I'm waiting for my brother to come through. Hopefully, hopefully everybody's doing good. You're happy, you're healthy, and everything. But I'm about to put up. That's actually a really good question. Is race swap characters black representation? Um, that's the question I'm gonna ask my brother when he gets on. Um, actually making a little something here. So give me just a second. Hopefully you guys can before we get started, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead. Make sure y'all in the comment section. Make sure y'all give this video a thumbs up. You know what I mean? The only thing I really care about, man, is y'all just giving this mug up. I mean, you can thumbs down too if you just tired of this. You tired of my face. For one, I don't know why you would come here anyway if you were tired of my face. But if you like this conversation or whatever, make sure you just give the video a thumbs up, especially if you're on YouTube, because we're live on YouTube right now. Get us a good old thumbs up. Um, I am going to come back with a show in the morning, so be mindful of that. Um, I'm tripping. I'm tripping. This is when you because I was kind of busy today. Hopefully you guys were having a good day. Oh, let me shout out my little cousin Justin Brewer. My cousin, my big cousin Manute, aka like that's bro. His daughter is the first female champion of her district, her high school district. She's the first female champion, which is awesome. She went and took state champion in wrestling. Absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to just throw this out here now. If you ever decide to pursue this WWE career and you need a mouthpiece, you know what I mean? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? You ever need, I could be Jimmy Hart or whatever you need. I can hook it. I can hook it up. Uh, also, while I'm doing this, while I'm getting this together, I to me, and you guys can answer. You guys can put this in the comment section. For some reason, I think the media is really attacking um Ant-Man and the Wasp from the Quantum Mania because it's just all kind of like I can understand if you didn't think the movie is good, you know what I mean? But this is a slow to me. February has always been almost a slow month for movies. And unless you have a knockout the park home run, first time, you know what I'm saying, like crazy film, it's not going to be a lot of films going to be in $1 billion club like Avatar because of the build up and all of that and the beautiful look of Avatar. Yeah, it was going to hit $1 billion. I think Black Panther Wakanda Forever hit $1 billion. But this was literally, I mean, Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Black Panther when it was introduced. Black history, the first black superhero character. Yeah, it's gonna make that money. But Ant-Man, I see a lot of people just dogging Ant-Man right now. A lot of people from the media, a lot of media critics, especially since it didn't hit its goal. You know what I mean? And well, I don't know what they thought it was supposed to hit. You know what I mean? And it just seems like a lot of media critics are really just destroying this movie. Um, like I said, if you think it's mid, if you think it's good, if you think it's horrid, you know what I'm saying? That's up to individual interpretation. But I believe that a lot of the media, especially your influencers, hopefully you guys can hear me well too. I believe a lot of your influencers are really pushing the it's bad train. Let me pull this. I have to eventually take this cover off of here. That's what I'm gonna get ready to do right now. This is a win. This is a this kind of windscreen for this is actually it's supposed to make it a little soundproof. I use this thing. I'm showing y'all the back end. Normally I use this thing for recording, like when I was recording music and stuff like that. You get in a nice, good quiet area. It condenses the sound even more. Just in case if you don't have any soundproof foam in your house, this actually works pretty well. But I think it's time for me to take this thing off. And it's time to keep it real. I don't want to bring this down too far because I got an arcade like right next to me. So it's time to take the cover off. Hopefully you guys can really hear me very well with this off now. But it just like I said, it just seems like that the studio is really beating this up. And I don't understand why. I don't know if it's, I don't know. I don't know if they're just getting tired. This is a fourth wall. Yeah, what's going on, Jonathan Brand? The whole Marvel series dipped since the passing of Stan Lee. And I think they were trying to be ambitious. I get, you know what? Honestly, I kind of understand where you're coming from. I really do. And at the same time, I also believe that they were trying to be ambitious, creating, and I'm going to talk about this in just a second, creating a movie and television franchise based on how they actually do comic books, if you get what I'm saying. Publication is totally different than making movies and television shows or trying to have continuity in reality when it's totally different. You could do whatever you want to on publication. But when you're doing this in a way where you have to connect these television shows, and the casual fan that's watching these television shows is not going to watch all of this stuff. You know what I mean? And in comic books, you have a dedicated fan base that's just going to look at comic books. I'm gonna bring up a couple comic books that actually kind of gives along to my point here in a second. I'm still waiting for my man to come through, but give me just a second. Hold on. And shout out to all the people who are just now coming in. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you guys. Let me I'm trying to get this thing correct before I load it up. Yep, I'm good now. Ho 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 ho. Man, I sometimes I wish I had some admin, some people I could get a juice to. Because man, try to run this thing, dog. I've been doing this podcasting thing literally for the past 5-6 years. And boy, man, sometimes I just wish I had a team, boy. God dog. Yeah, you gotta do all this stuff by yourself. But I don't think Stan Lee had that. I get what you're saying. And I also am thinking, does Stan Lee have that much influence over the product? You know what I'm saying? Like Kevin Feige, Nate Moore, all these other people, I believe they have more influence over the product, like, you know what I mean, than Stan did. But you know, I mean, I get what you're saying. I'm just trying to figure out if that's it, or if they're being too ambitious. I'm not saying the product is bad. I don't think the product is as bad as people are making it to seem like. I personally don't. I believe that we have gotten comfortable and we have gotten spoiled because a lot of these comic book movies, like when you do Endgame and the way you did Endgame, you had 10 years to build up this particular franchise, and the crescendo was as good as that. It's hard to be able to top that. It's absolutely hard to be able to top that. So I'm not. I'm not for sure. But you know, I don't know. But hold on. I want y'all to hold on for a second because I'm gonna bring up. I'm gonna because I have to go grab my comics because I want y'all to because I'm one of those type of people. If this is the first time you watching me, I'm one of those type of people that hey, let me show you the format because if I just talk about it, talk about it, talk about it, talk about it, then you won't understand. I rather just show it to you and make it a little bit easier to be able to digest. So hold that thought, Jonathan, because I want to answer that question, but give me just a second and we're going to go back here. Hold on. Okay, I am back. Okay, let me get to some of these questions real quick. Because I had to go and dig at some of my stash. Professor Film Fan, what's going on, my brother? He said, "Do you think Marvel Studios should slowly introduce the X-Men and Fantastic Four in the Phase 4?" With the X-Men, yes. With the Fantastic Four, I kind of wished that they would have introduced the Fantastic Four or gave us a hint that they were stuck in the quantum realm. And the reason why is because they are associated with Kane the Conqueror also. So I kind of wish that we didn't get that. But a slow build, yes, absolutely. I believe a slow build would be especially with the X-Men. You have to slow build them. I don't want to be too slow because you still have the core X-Men. You know, Jean Grey, Cyclops, Wolverine could be the new Wolverine could be a slow build. Um, Iceman, who am I missing? Beast. Yeah, Cyclops, Jean Grey, Beast, Iceman, Professor X, and I'm still missing Archangel. I think that was the original core X-Men. And if I'm wrong, you can go ahead and put it in the comment section of this. Jonathan Brand said maybe it's too much of a liberal programming. And there's always been conversations about race. There's always been conversations um about world things inside of comic books. So to me, and this is going back a long time ago, I don't really see. I do understand, like, if you're just making it like, hey, I'm black and pushing that, just I'm black, I'm black, I'm black, I'm black, I'm black, without any context, or I'm gay, I'm gay, I'm gay, I'm gay, I'm gay, without any context to it, or look at me, I'm a woman, look at all the crap that I have to go through as a woman, and you're pushing that as an idea or being idealist, I can understand that. But when we're just talking about things that have happened and coming, like if you ever read X-Men, you ever read Claremont's run, it's literally he's the one to me who defined the notion of using the X-Men as an allegory for racism and stuff like that. To me, that's where I got it from, because I grew up on Claremont's run. You know what I'm saying? Growing up. So it's a liberal. D Stizzle was in the house. What's going on? Colossus, but he wasn't the original core X-Men from not giant size X-Men, the original X-Men comic. D Sizzle says it's not rocket science to me. Hollywood creators, in this case Marvel Studios, don't care about the source material that kept them in business all these decades. And honestly, I can say the same thing about DC too. You know what I mean? As far as their source material, even though they own all of their characters, and a lot of this is kind of hard because they didn't own a lot of their characters, and the way they would have had to tell their story, they had to tell their story in their own unique way. When you deviate, when I look at the source material, is the character true to the character that's in the comics? You know what I mean? That's just like, if Spider-Man is serious and he's killing people, well, that's not true to the character of Spider-Man from the comics. Well, I mean, it's a version of that. You know what I mean? Not even gonna hold you. Or something where it's something so out of character. Story-wise, you can do it adaptations, but man, if you really, 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 really read comics, it is so incredibly wild to have a lot of these stories in today. Hold on, I mean in today's publications. Hold on real quick. There my man go. Oh, hold on, D-Real, I'm about to get you in. D-Real, what's going on, my man?
What's good?
Yo,
what's happening? What's
today,
good
right?
with you, bro? What's good?
I'm good. It was today, right? Yeah, I thought I was tripping.
No.
I'm like, what you said?
No, it wasn't today, but we can do it today.
Okay, all right. It was for Monday.
Yeah, but I'm here, so
you here though. You here. All right, let me get some of these, and then I'm gonna introduce you. And we're just having a conversation, just real quick. Animation, video game studios don't disrespect the source material. Only Hollywood does. And I believe when you're in D Sizzle, I understand where you're coming from. When you're looking at animation, there is the mainstream doesn't go, to me, and I could be wrong, but I don't see a lot of mainstream media, or not media, a lot of mainstream television people, regular people, not going to go see, like, going to go watch these television shows, or going to go buy the video games, you know what I mean, or going to buy the comic books. Those are a niche group, like people who going back, like I'm sitting here, and I wanted to, because this is getting on my nerves, because it's on my lap, because I wanted to be able to bring this out to tell you why this is a niche. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was on, we did a live stream last weekend with my brother. So we were talking about Infinity Gauntlet, right? This is the Infinity Gauntlet, Infinity War, and Infinity Crusade comics. You know what I mean? This is only a quarter of the comics. You see what I mean? This is a quarter of the comics, because the way that you have to tell a publication, in publication, you can spread those out in multiple different issues. So the beginning of Infinity Gauntlet is actually Silver Surfer number 50. This is the start of the Infinity Gauntlet, because this is literally where he crashed down into the Sanctum Sanctorum, and the same thing that they did with the Incredible Hulk in the actually Infinity War movie, that came from Silver Surfer number 50 and Infinity Gauntlet number 1, where Silver Surfer ends up in the Sanctum Sanctorum with Doctor Strange. So, but in publication, you can be able to do all these stories over different publications. So you can start off that you can have your main story is here, and then you got Infinity Gauntlet 1 through, what is this? 1 through 6. But in the reference of 1 through 6, you also have like Moon Knight, you have X-Men, you have Incredible Hulk, Doctor Strange, you got all these other different places where the story connects to this. Unfortunately, I don't have enough room. Oh, go ahead, D. Go ahead.
Correct me if I'm not mistaken, but you can read Infinity Gauntlet 1 through 6 and still get the core story of what's going on with the Infinity Gauntlet without buying them umpteen comics that you got in your hand.
You can, but if you want it's just like anything, you want the entire story, you want the backstory, you want the side story. Why is Mephisto begging the Thanos? You want to know why Thanos is sipping for Lady Death. All of those stories are multiple around other stories. I give you another. I gave this example last week, like Absolute Carnage. You know what I mean? So Absolute Carnage came out. What was that? 2020 or 2021 when they finished Absolute Carnage? But it was over, I want to say a year, but it's over 35 different comics than the core story. So if you wanted to know why Deadpool, you know what I'm saying, is the Venom symbiote has a relationship with Deadpool, well, you have to go back to the what if Deadpool possessed the Venom symbiote. Well, what if Deadpool became Venom? That's one story. You know what I mean? And then they canonize that in this, and then there's other little stories that go around there. But all of those within the publication goes into one complete story. Yes, you could get the core story, just like if a casual fan went to go see Infinity War Endgame. You're gonna get the core story because obviously this guy takes it. No, you're gonna get the story of him getting the Infinity Stones. Okay. No, I'm just talking about him just possessing the Infinity Stones, right? Snapping half of the people, they go back, get the MacGuffin of the story, and then never tell you how one of those MacGuffins gets right back into a woman who had it stuck in her in a movie. You know what I mean? But you get that part. But if you want the other things, where did the Infinity Stones come from? Who had the Infinity Stones? Why did Loki have an Infinity Stone that he got from Thanos? And he had what? One? Let me see. He had one of them. He's trying to get the Cosmic Cube, which was housed inside the Tesseract. So you had the second one. You know what I mean? But if you never watch those other movies, then you get to Infinity War and you get to Infinity Gauntlet. How does that even make sense if you're just a casual goer? So that's why casual goers be like, hey, what do I need to watch so I could be able to, I don't know what's going on. That's when you start pushing. Just like if I went and got, say for instance, I went to the comic book store. They only had, let me see, because I got this on the shirt, and this is actually one of my favorite covers because Thanos looks awesome, right? So I get Infinity Gauntlet number 4. I have no idea what's going on because I have Infinity, just this one. You know what I mean? Not only do I got to get 1 through 6, if I don't get Silver Surfer, it just cracks off. You don't know the beginning from this story to why it cracks off. So there is times where you do need to get those other comics so you get the full complete story. The Onslaught saga is another one, but nobody's going to go get 100 comics because that's how many comics you have to complete that story from start to finish, which is ridiculous, but that's publication. And one of the real questions, and I think D Sizzle was trying to allude to, is that when they talk about source material, you can't do that in film, in television, and film like that. It's just way too much that will go on for the casual person who's not a part of this niche to be able to follow. What you think about that?
I feel like number one, we give way too much credence, at least financially anyway, to the visual storytelling aspect of it. And at the same time, we underestimate it by saying that a complete story cannot be told cinematically using source material. That depends on the story you're telling. Because we tell Superman's complete story 17 umpteen billion times. We tell Batman's stories clearly and completely billions of times. They love to tell Batman's story again and again and again. The point being, you can tell a linear story in a movie. You can take source material and tell a story. It depends on what kind of source material you're trying to tell. Now, something like Infinity Gauntlet, I agree. You can't go and cram all, because there's too many characters first that you have to include in a far-reaching saga like that. But something like the death of Gwen Stacy,
you could tell that.
You can tell that entire.
Yeah, you could tell that.
And there are a lot more, and that's kind of the thing I've been on lately on my page is, why is it cinematically we always go over the top? We go straight to the cosmic stuff. We go straight to the galactic stakes. We go straight to that when we got so many planetary, so many Earth-based, so many street-based stories that can be told in their entirety. And we just glaze over those, and it's going to seem kind of backwards to go, okay, first we started off and went Infinity Saga, and now we're going to go Multiverse Saga. Now to go to something like the Masters of Evil or the Thunderbolts or something like that seems like you're kind of backtracking in terms of enormity of the story.
Right. And I absolutely agree with you on that. And even with Secret Wars, we all know, and we're not talking about the 1984 Secret Wars. We're talking about 2015 run. When I say Secret Wars was a way to merge, because that's basically what they did. They merged the Ultimate Universe and all these other universe, the things that they wanted to keep from Ultimate Universe 1610, whatever they had weird out there. Because Marvel was kind of spreading themselves thin as far as publications and stories, because you're reading Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man, this Spider-Man, Miles Morales Spider-Man, you know what I'm saying, Sinister Spider-Man, all this other stuff. And what Marvel publication-wise said, okay, we need to condense this crap. We can't have this all over the place. I'm a big Deadpool fan. You know what I'm saying? So Deadpool was going on adventures all over the place. You know what I'm saying? So they said, okay, what we need to do is we need to condense this all new, all different Marvel. You know what I mean? So that's what the incursions was in 2015 with Secret Wars, merging all of this stuff together, taking what you want. Miles Morales, Spider-Man was one of those, just off the top of my head, that they plucked from the Ultimate Universe and stuck in the 616. You know what I mean? And different other characters. You know what I mean? So they could be able to go forward with one. Basically, they reset their own timeline, on some He Who Remains type stuff. You know what I mean? And
they bringing the Ultimate Universe back in June.
And where?
They have a series coming out in June of this year called Ultimate Invasion.
Yo, first of all, personally, I like the Ultimate Universe.
I did too.
And I like the Ultimate Universe because you can do whatever you want to in that universe, and no one gets mad about what's going on. If you got a black dude is a century, or you can do whatever you want in the Ultimate Universe. And they did it, remember, back in the day, they did it with Marvel Knights. Remember, Marvel Knights was the line where, like, hey man, we at the end of the run, what you want to do? All right, put Christopher Priest on it, because he the only black dude we got in here, right? Am I lying? That saved Black Panther. You know what I mean? And a couple other story. Deadpool was going towards Marvel Knights too, and they kind of saved them also. You know what I mean? So to have that is kind of cool. So you could be able to have a different fan base, like a different creation of a character. So if you did race swap, race bend, which we're going to get into, you know what I'm saying, here soon, then it gives you a little bit of credence, because you said, oh, well, that happened in this particular universe in this particular time, so it doesn't look so crazy when you do it. You know what I mean? So I'm glad you gave me that information. I'm gonna go to the comments real quick. I think we're gonna go right to our question today: is race swap characters considered black representation? So, matter of fact, before I go into this, we'll go into the question. Man, introduce yourself, man. Tell them who you are. Tell them about your channel. Tell them we
Okay.
early. We a day early. Tell
Okay. Okay. For those of you that have not graced the page, I'm D-Real, and I got a YouTube channel called Be Real with D-Real, where I talk about everything from movies, comics, social issues. I'm in there for all of it. I'm first and foremost I guess you could say blurred. I like that term some days I don't like that term, but I have been a comic collector since the age of 8. I am 55 and proud of it right now. Still collect comic books to this very day. Just I drop all kind of content on my page. Y'all come over there, check it out. I do a live every Thursday. Come in the live, check it out. We're usually talking about things like what we talking about right now on Dre Max page. And when I'm not online, I do improv. I have an improv group. We're getting ready to do a show here downtown on the 18th. And I was born and raised in Kansas City. A lot of people don't know that. Yeah, a lot of people do know that. Because I shouted from the rooftops, loud and proud. Kansas City on mine to the day I die.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that I didn't know that you were from Kansas City. You know what I mean? So
I used to live in Parade Park.
I
went to Lincoln. A lot of my partners stayed out south, went to Southeast. I'm so Kansas City, bro.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I'm born and raised on the Kansas side. You know what I'm saying? So from Juniper all the way to Chelsea, all the way on up. That's and I've been over into the Missouri side because I moved to California, moved to LA, and that's funny that you say you did improv because that's what I was proficient at in high school. You know what I mean? Went to state scholarship offered to K-State for theater. You know what I mean? Theater and football. So you know what I mean? I was very, very proficient. So I moved to LA to pursue that dream. And with $1,200, that's all I'm gonna say.
All right. I know the struggle. Trust me.
Yeah. So
did you ever get to work with the Groundlings?
With the who?
The Groundlings, improv troupe, Groundlings.
No, I never heard of them. Once I got here, because I broke, I had to get a job, get moving. You know what I'm saying? Within a year, I had my first son. So you know what I'm saying? I had to move a lot of stuff back. I started working with a guy back in 2008. 2009, let me take that back. 2009, a guy named Charles Allen. Shout out to him. Is a Hollywood writer, comedian out in LA. I think he just moved to Texas. So shout out to him doing big things. I was working with him, did a few skits, used to get on stage, do my comic thing. So you know what I mean? So yeah, man, that was
I'm gonna put a show up on my page here. I'm gonna film my show and put it up on the page.
Yeah, most definitely. And guys, if y'all not checking out Be Real with D-Real, make sure that you go to his page. The link is going to be in the bio. If you're watching this on the replay, make sure to click his link, go like, share, subscribe to his channel. Make sure to hit the bell notification on his channel so you never miss anytime that he's live. He does excellent content. I love checking in, repping Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? And just checking in and listening to the conversation that he's having, because he's having real good, conversations about a lot of things that are deep, especially when it comes to, comic books in Black representation, which that's what I love. You know what I'm saying about his channel? Because man, just knowledge of Black history and stuff like that, and then fusing it with what's going on in these comic books and having that representation there. That's what's key. So I appreciate him coming on to the channel. You know what I mean? We're going to chop it up. Let me get to the comments real quick because I miss it. I don't want to miss anything. And while y'all at it, make sure thumbs up. Make sure y'all giving this a thumbs up, or thumbs down. I mean, hell, you might like, I don't know what these two Negroes talking about, but I don't like it. You know what I mean? But okay.
These are in the building.
Yes, sir. D Cecil, man. I love this brother. Checks out everybody we rock with, man. I love D Cecil coming on to the channel, man. But it's been a while, but the last time I checked, the video game industry makes more money than the Hollywood and the Lee. Yeah. And one of the reasons why is now there's money in streaming video game content, also. No matter how sucky your video, I will go back. I've been on YouTube for a while, but one of the reasons why I wanted to get on YouTube was the Angry Video Game Nerd. Like real stuff. I'm like, this dude is wild, just yelling, hollering, screaming about old games and stuff like that. And then when streaming started, really getting high with, before there was Twitch and all of that, when YouTube first started, a lot of people were streaming games. So once that money started rolling in, hey, we can stream whatever game, no matter how sucky it is or how classic it is, and make money. So yes, I do agree with you. That's one of the reasons why it makes a lot of money now. You said video games aren't as niche as they was 20 years ago. Yeah, this is just like I said, the whole digital age just made it not as niche as it is. The D Sizzle said was good. It said all I asked for is reasonable, accurate character interpretations and building a good storyline around that. I do agree. I don't care if you got a white character playing a white comic book character, but characterized by a white guy. If it sucked, it sucks. You know what I'm saying? If it's a black guy and it's good, it's good. I'm gonna call it what it is. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna call it if it's trash, most definitely. These Sizzle saying that, man, you have no idea. I gotta do a secret code to get to these books because there's a lot of Transformers and all kinds of stuff just to make that move to get to those books. Most
I agree with that statement.
So most issues aren't required to understand the main event. Yeah, if you're looking just the main event, no. I like me personally, because I'm a story guy, so I like, knowing particularly the intricate part of the story to how did we get here? You know what I mean? And why is he there? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just being real. I'm reading Absolute Carnage, and because I'm picking up the Deadpool run of that. I think Scotty Cates run. So I'm reading Deadpool. I'm like, how the hell is he? Where is the title? Absolute Carnage at the top of it, but it's Deadpool's issue. I'm like, the hell is he doing with this? So I went and started collecting that, and then I had to get some other stuff. I'm like, oh, okay.
That's a financial tool, though.
Yeah, it is.
That's a money tool. If I want to make more money, then I'll spread this story out around 5, 6, 7 comics. And if you one of them folks that want to do that, you can throw your $4.99 at all 7 of them.
And I'm doing it. And I'm gonna do it. Hickman and Hitch. Yeah, Jonathan Hickman's. Anything Jonathan Hickman put his mind to, put his pencil to, is fabulous. I'm not even.
Hickman's a beast, and I like Brian Hitch's pencils. He draws I like the JLA from the '90s that he did. Mm-hmm. That was really I liked them. His physical. Human beings look like human beings. They move and jump like human beings. So, unlike I ain't gonna bomb on Rob Liefeld.
Don't do my boy like that, because I was just about to say, Rob, my boy, but
I'm gonna leave him alone today. I'm gonna leave him alone today.
One arm be really super big. You be all twisted like,
yes, be all the way out here. Have like a 2-inch waist.
Oh my God, it was funny because I was watching Deadpool the movies when Ryan said the man who can't draw feet, and I looked at every one of his panels from because I got New Mutants. What do I have? 85 through 100. And I know him and I know McFarlane did a lot of the covers for him, but he did a lot of the penciling for New Mutants. Man, I was looking at the feet and I was like, man, damn, he's right.
Liefeld did a lot of those covers too, though.
Yeah, he did.
With them extra long legs and them tiny torsos. The
Superman he did is probably the worst. If you ever see his Superman cover, it is one of the worst covers.
Was it Action Comics?
I think it was Action Comics. Superman chest way. I'm talking about.
I think I know what you're talking about.
You'll know what I'm talking about if you.
I thought it was a double E woman. That's how it looked.
Oh man, D Sizzle, what you say? He said big story-driven video games have been a thing since the 90s. Games are more cinematic than ever, and I will agree with you. Some of the video game, like you're talking about, source material, and I know D-Real just talking about source material. This is why I fell in love with this with The Last of Us show, because they're really using a lot of that source. I'm talking about core source material. Now, I got on by Kansas City because when he looked out there, we're like, this is Killer City. I'm like, that ain't Wyandotte County. I've been downtown too many times to look over at Kansas. That ain't Kansas, because that's where they was going across the river. I'm like, nah.
Yeah, but on the Missouri side, it looked
it was all right.
Yeah, I saw they had 435, right? I know
They had
that
435, right? I think they were going to I think it was 35 going towards Union Station on the back end. Like if you're going 35 and getting off by
North.
Yeah. So they kind of had that right, but I was like the rest of it, I was like,
I'm like, tunnels, underground tunnels. It is.
Well, I will say I don't know about actually crossing that river. There's an underground river to Missouri River, but the Underground Railroad went through the Quindale ruins. You know what I mean? I know you. So I don't know, but there is that patch that you go down that the river's right there. That I'm just saying. So
it's possible. Entirely possible.
So, but I think that was still awesome though. To kind of to have them not stop at Pittsburgh, stop at Kansas City. You know what I mean? So I give them props on that. But let's get to the main event. One more question is that if those games collectively sell hundreds of millions of copies a year, yes. And I'm mad that I slept on The Last of Us as a video game, because I'm not gonna lie, it's hard for me to play a 100-hour video game now. You know what I mean? That crap don't wrap up in 20 minutes. I'm kind of out.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. Last game I played all the way through the last God of War, not Ragnarok.
Because I just got
the one where they just made him Norse. That's the last one I played all the way through.
When I got this PS5 at Christmas, I guess that's Ragnarok that came in the box. I still ain't played it because I was like, oh man.
Well, I got Madden 23 with mine. So.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, man, I'm gonna play this Marvel Knights. I don't know the last time I played a good Marvel game. Knight? Midnight Sun, not Marvel Knight. Marvel's Midnight Suns. Because the last
that. You took too long.
I'm gonna just say this. I'm not a big turn-based guy, man. It's a card game. And the last Marvel game that I played was on Switch. It was I can't think of the name of the game. But
Contest of Champions?
Not Contest of Champions.
Task Force?
Not Task Force. What was the name of the dang on game? I know it's still $50, but I played that, and I can't think of the name of it. I don't know why. It's beat 'em up. You know what I'm saying? I want to go there and fight. I don't want you to pull a card and you go in for a move. I ain't played it. The last one I played like that was what? Not Kingdom Hearts, but can't think of turn-based game now. They done made like Final Fantasy 1 on Nintendo was the last turn-based game I played that wasn't a Pokemon game. I did not want to play that with a card. I'm like, I'm out. I ain't touched it since. But anyway, let's get to this. Is race swaps characters considered black representation? And I know Chillmonger and all of us on Twitter, we've been talking about this real heavy. We just talked. Rumor is they were looking at the Century to be African American. There's also a rumor he might be the Asian guy from I can't think of the last movie he was in.
That's my Black Century.
No, that's actually kind of dope though.
That's my Black Century. If he don't look like that, or if y'all don't put some dreads on him, I ain't here for it.
Mass Effect. I give you that one too.
Okay.
Of course, Wonder Man is going to be black in the MCU. Yahya Abdul-Mateen is going to play Wonder Man in the MCU, which he was one of my number one choices to be a new T'Challa, a recast T'Challa, or even a variant. I would have took a variant for $200. But he is going to be Wonder Man in the MCU. They're going to introduce Grim Reaper in the MCU. Is this representation, D-Real? I want to go ahead and start with you.
Okay. If and I've said this in a video before. Actually, I've said it in several videos. If you consider taking an apple and wrapping it in an orange peeling and calling that an orange, then yeah, what they doing is black representation. But me personally, nah. If you have characters like Brother Voodoo, Night Thrasher, Blade, Frenzy, Tempo, you got all of these characters out there who have stories, Blue Marvel, all of these characters that got stories, and instead you choose to tell a white character's story and put a black face on him, you're not representing us, because that black character is not going to last. Okay, if we make Superman black, does that mean Superman stays black for all time? Hell no. Okay, if we make Wonder Man black, is Simon Williams going to stay black in the comic books for all time? No. Is Eric Williams, the Grim Reaper, going to stay black for all time? No. You are not representing us with a single representation, and a single representation where you're putting a black character into a white character's story. That's not representation. It's compensating. You know what I'm saying? It's a I don't know. You want to be woke and diverse. You know what I'm saying? But there's nothing woke or diverse about that. It's pandering. Plain
and now I'm glad you explained it like that. I just talked about this, I think, last week when my brother was on, that there is this movement, to me, by the MCU to try to be more diverse, which I get. I understand that. A lot of the characters that came before, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, you notice ain't nobody checking for the Grim Reaper in the comics right now. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
at all.
At all. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I knew a brother named Eric Williams. Eric Williams sounded like a black name to me in the beginning, anyway. But that's just Simon Williams, Eric Williams. That sound like two black people.
Anybody last name Williams.
So I mean, technically, but a lot of these characters were created at a time where they didn't care about representation. You know what I mean? Because you have the white hero trope. And we all know about the white hero trope. If you don't know what the white hero trope is, always making the white guy you know what I'm saying, the hero of the story. You know, even if he's like in the case of the Century in the, you know what I'm saying, the Century in the Void is a duality within his mind and all of that. He was a character who was from the, I want to say, what was he, from the 1950s or something like that, and they erased his mind, and then they woke him up in the future or something like that. They did the same thing, when Kevin
they made everybody else forget who he
was. Forget who he was. Basically did the Spider-Man spell. You know what I'm saying? Right. On him, which they could tell that story. But to me, when you have a main character like the Century, like that, I don't believe you race swap that character, because he's a main character. Now, if it's someone that was insignificant in the comics, a panel guy, a guy that they introduced at one time and he so happened didn't make it, you know what I mean? He was in a book or two. I don't care what you do, because he's not a mainstay character. He's not someone that you're going to constantly make toys out of, because he already had a run, and that character is going to have two characters. Your movie version, which is going to be black, and then you got your white one from the comics, which I would say maybe the millennials might not look at this and be like, or the younger people, kids is not going to look at that and be like, oh, look, you know what I'm saying? They different colors. They don't care. They looking at the Century.
So question. Play devil's advocate here. Would you have a problem if they made Triathlon white?
That's the guy. He's from DC, right?
No, that's Marvel.
Okay.
Brother with he inherited the powers, I guess, of 3D Man. and he showed up during that in the late 90s that George Perez Kurt Busiek run of Avengers. And
I wasn't reading Avengers then, so I think I know who you talk about. I wasn't reading Avengers.
He's a black guy. He was like an Olympic athlete, and he got shamed because he was taking steroids. And then he joined this foundation, the Triune Foundation, and they gave him like the Triune power, which was actually the power of 3D man. And so he was 3 times faster, 3 times stronger, 3 times more agile, that kind of thing. But he never landed the way I think that they wanted him to land. And just like I'm talking to you right now, and the name triathlon ain't bringing no bills or nothing to you, I feel like he could be made white and it would slip right under the radar and nobody would know or care.
Okay, what a character. First of all, let me take off my glasses for this one. A black man cheating with steroids in the late 90s. Not at the former.
I thought we dominated that sport anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, Ben Johnson. I mean, Ben Johnson, but he was from Canada, so I mean, it is what it is.
I mean, I'm just saying. For me, like again, you know how deep in lore you had to be at reading the Avengers at that time to even know that story. Average person, like even though I know a lot of comics, even though I like a lot of comics, it's just people that I'm just not gonna know of or whatever. So even if you know what, it would make sense for him to be white because he couldn't win anyway. So he had to get additional powers and cheat to get. I'm sorry, I ain't trying to make it seem like that, white people. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, Mark McGuire juice too. So I'm just saying.
You can find more of them juicing than you can us.
That's all. You know what I mean? So I could possibly see that.
And you wouldn't have a problem with it?
With me not knowing of the character. And has this character ever showed up in any other publication? If he showed up in a Marvel Knights line or Ultimates line or anything else?
No, he's not. He popped up in like, what was it, the late 90s, early 2000s, had a little run in Avengers, had a little run during Secret Invasion, and we haven't seen too much of him since.
See, because I'm not saying that he sounds like a caricature of black people or anything like that. At the same time, I don't want the stereotype. It's almost like in The Boys. A-Train in The Boys is white in the comics, and then they made him white on the show. But the creators of The Boys are also executive creators of The Boys television show. So if they said, "Hey, I'm cool with it," kind of like with Rob Liefeld, he showed his original drawing of Domino because they were getting ready for Deadpool 2 because everybody was bitching. Oh, why is Domino a black chick with a white which is commonplace, vitiligo eye patch? Why couldn't it be a white woman with a black eye patch? And he showed his original drawing. And that original drawing looked more Kiki hair, looked like he wanted to introduce a black woman. And then maybe I don't know, maybe he showed it to somebody or whatever and was like, nah, I need another design, because she totally started changing after that original design. Because I follow Rob Liefeld on Instagram, and I remember him pushing that original sketch of her. And I was like, she looked kind of black to me. But then Rob said, this is what I want anyway. So...
Okay.
But Rob is getting paid, so you look. If I drew a stick figure, you made it $1 million franchise. Hey, I wanted it that way anyway. You know what I mean? So
Rob was getting paid anyway, hand over fist. So yeah, he had cartoons on and all that. He rode it till the wheels fell off.
And I ain't mad at him either. I ain't mad at him. It said they race swap Thunderball and She-Hulk to a white guy, but only diehard fan. And I noticed that too. You know what I'm saying? That it was a lot of. First of all, they did them wrong.
That was not nobody's wrecking crew.
That was not
they wasn't wrecking Jack.
They was not the wrecking crew. I'm not claiming them. That's
Nah.
not the Wrecking Crew. But this is what I wanted to show, because in history, and I showed this last time, in publication history, this is a lot of our characters. And let me go to this tab real quick. I didn't want a lot of our characters like this. You understand? Whether
Black Mariah.
yeah, Black Mariah, you know, the stereotypical character, you know what I mean? Because there was a long list of the stereotype when it came to anybody that wasn't white. I'm not just talking about black people, you know what I mean? I'm talking about anybody that wasn't white, they had a character of them. You know what I mean? And what I guess I look at it two ways, because I put it like this. I don't see no right or wrong. And to me, it's based on what your ideal is, what you would like to see. You know what I'm saying, as far as your movie going experience or something like that. So I say this is not a right or wrong answer to this. It's just what you choose to do. With a lot of people like, I don't give a damn if they black, white, orange, or green. Just give me my character. You got your purists to be like, nah, damn that. I don't want the Fantastic Four. I don't want Michael B. Jordan being the Human Torch. He ain't Johnny Storm. What the hell you doing with that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, so I do get it. And I do get I was on a podcast with Showmonger, and Marcus from Back on the Bus was on there, and he was like, hell, give me Blue Marvel, give me a Black Century, give it. I take all of it. You know what I'm saying? And from an actor's point of view, I'm just being real. If you say, hey, Dre, we got this role for you that's coming up, you are going to be in the MCU, and you know what the MCU does for people's careers after the MCU. So it's very lucrative in that field. But they say, hey man, you gonna play, I don't know, who's a you gonna be the new Star-Lord. This is gonna be you. You gonna be Star-Lord Peter Quill. First of all, I'm gonna be like, why is name I'm black? Why I gotta be Peter Quill? Why can't it be Marquez Shakeston or something? I don't know. But hey, this is an opportunity for you to elevate your career. As an actor, I'm not gonna say no, because I'm not gonna get that opportunity no more. Or again. So I'm not mad at Yaya or anybody who's gonna play this race swap character. It all goes back to Marvel. Marvel knows that they can be able to make Yaya.
And I feel you, and I feel you there, Dre. And let me just say, the way I feel about the situation has nothing to do with the actor.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And let me make that clear. I'm not mad at Abdul Mateen for doing what he's doing. I'm not mad at whoever's going to play the Sentry. The people who wrote that, the people who edit all of that, the script writers, all of that, the people who came up with that, they are the ones who decided that. Now, Yahya Abdul Mateen sat in a room and said, I like this Wonder Man, but I think he should be black. If it went down like that, then I'm like, yeah, he's still side eye there, but
yeah,
he's trying to eat. And I mean, it's not, we talk about people struggling and actors needing roles and things like that, bruh. Yahya Abdul Mateen is eating. You know what I'm saying? My man, it ain't like he that he ain't going to auditions and then going to do a graveyard shift over at Fatburger. You know, it's not like he eating, bruh. He's sitting comfortable. He can pick and choose the roles he wants.
This ain't the first time he played a race swap character. He was Dr. Manhattan in that reimagined Watchmen, yeah, Watchmen series.
But you know, here's the exception
for that too.
Here's the exception to that rule, and it's gonna sound cheesy as hell, but it is what it is. If you want a black actor to play, somebody like Dr. Manhattan, okay, then you better get a black actor to play Galactus. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna be giving roles of omnipotent beings to black folks, then hey, don't let it be a one and done thing.
Look, you know, Galactus, Apocalypse should have Bimbo.
Well, Apocalypse is black. If we being honest.
Yeah, we being real. That's why when people was like, "Oh, Jonathan Majors playing Kane," I don't know. I said, first of all, Jonathan Majors is an amazing actor. When I watched the first time I saw him, I watched The Five Bloods first. That's the first time I seen him on screen. I seen all of his other stuff. You know what I'm saying? After that, Lovecraft Country. You know what I mean?
That's where I saw him first.
Yeah, because I didn't have HBO at the time, so I seen that first, and then I was like, let me go get this HBO thing so I can watch Lovecraft Country. Because me and E-Man from E-Man's Movie Review, I did an interview with him when we were talking about that, and I was like, man, this Jonathan Majors guy, I don't know where he came from, but he is amazing. So shout out to him. I love that he's working and he's getting into, and I don't want to say it like this, but I gotta keep it real. Because Hollywood does this. You had Chadwick on that meteoric rise. He passed. This is Jonathan's time on that meteoric rise. So this is Jonathan's time right now. But for him playing Ramatutta, I was like, man, first of all, just a story of Kane the Conqueror, Nathaniel Richards, because any of us could be a descendant of white people. Let's keep it real. I've done my DNA research.
Some of us are.
And technically I'm not, but because I did my family tree DNA. Yeah, I didn't have no, my family's out.
Massa wasn't creeping in this.
Nobody. I got Egyptian and all kinds of other stuff. But enough about me. But what I'm saying is, if I was a dude from the 31st century and I was taking around and I was bored, oh yeah, I'm going back in the past. And I'm going back to make sure Egypt is black. And I'm gonna make sure some other stuff don't crack. Yeah, I'm gonna be king for real. You know what I mean? That just sound like something a black dude would do. It's me.
Yeah. You know what I mean? You don't want to give me that kind of power. I'm gonna go and address a lot of inequities.
I'm an actual fool.
That's real. That's real.
So I wasn't necessarily mad, but I did understand Chillmonger's point of view. He was in Planet Fanatics also said this too, was saying, well, if they go and read this comic, they go and read the Kane the Conqueror comic, and they look up, and it's a handsome white man here. Yeah, there's another handsome white man.
What color is that man?
I'm about to say, is he purple?
What color is that man? When we first see him, and that's his first ever appearance, you don't see what color.
I'm about to say because he got the blue mask on his face.
Blue mask on. At some point in his career, when they was telling his story, somebody decided that he was. Well, first they decided he was a descendant of Victor Von Doom.
Yeah. The Roman.
They retconned that and said he was a descendant of Nathaniel Richards. Now, as much as they retcon and change things, he could be a descendant of Aloysius Jackson if we needed him to be. Just go on and retcon it and make it that way. My thing is, if you're going to retcon it, don't be backpedaling 4 or 5 years later when it ain't chic no more. You know what I'm saying? Striving to be up to and touching as far as wokeness is concerned. Don't backpedal because it ain't chic no more. Make a decision and stick with it.
So let me ask you this. So when we have 1960s, 99% of your heroes were white in comics.
99.99%.
You understand? You had Black Panther you had Black Panther, and then Luke Cage came during the height of black exploitation. You had Falcon. You know what I mean? You had a couple up. As far as Marvel,
T'Challa was 66. Falcon was 69, I believe.
And then
Luke Cage was 72.
72. Yeah. And so do you look at it now as being woke or trying to right the wrongs of the past?
That all depends on the spirit in which it's being done. If it's being done because you want to address inequities, I'm there for that. Correct away. But if you're doing it because, this is the latest thing, this is the new hotness, this is trending. If you're doing it because it's trending, That's not the reason to do it, and it's not gonna last if you do it because of that reason. You know, I've had the conversation offline with Chillmonger about Jon Stewart, and he has made it well known that he thinks Jon Stewart is not representative of us because he is a Green Lantern, and when we think of Green Lantern, we automatically think Hal Jordan. But my argument is he is one of those unique instances where he has superseded.
And I said the same thing
that he was placed in. Jon Stewart came out the same year as Luke Cage, 72. So Jon Stewart had that same kind of sass, that same kind of attitude, that same kind of John Shaft thing going on about him, where I don't care nothing about what the white man's saying. We doing it like this, baby. You know, and you know, Hal Jordan telling him, oh, you need to put on a mask. What I gotta protect my identity for? What the white man? I don't need no mask. You know what I'm saying? His whole attitude. And Hal Jordan in that premiere story took it like, oh, he's just an uppity black man. But then it turns out Jon Stewart was the cat that broke the case open that they was working on, and it's like, okay, maybe I jumped to a snap judgment about dude. You know, and Jon Stewart went on to carve out his own
niche,
own story. He did time in a group called the Dark Stars for a while. Jon Stewart was on Justice League. And he became the mainstay Green Lantern. So now in 2023, if you ask the average person, who's Green Lantern?
Jon Stewart.
Or
Hal Jordan,
Jon Stewart is just as much Green Lantern
as Hal Jordan. And they don't even Greg Gustin ain't even brought up no more, or what's the other one? It's another one too.
You got Gardner.
Greg Gardner, yeah.
There are what?
There's a lot.
Seven, I think 7 or 8 Green Lanterns just on Earth. In the comics, anyway. Well, I mean, because a lot of people forget Alan Scott is the OG.
Alan Scott, yeah. Okay. Alan Scott's an OG.
Alan Scott is the OG. Then you had Hal Jordan. You had Guy Gardner.
Gardner.
Replace him, but never did.
Yeah.
Then you had Jon Stewart. Then you had Kyle Rayner.
Yeah.
Then you had Simon Baz.
It sounds like more white dudes than black dudes.
Well, like Simon Baz is Indian.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the majority is still the majority.
Facts. Okay, but my thing, I guess what I was getting at was, to me, that same thing could happen anywhere else, you know, with any other character, and that's what should happen, because that happened organically. Nobody had no agenda to make Jon Stewart the Green Lantern. He was just a damn good character, and still is a damn good character. And how many more characters are out there who are just damn good characters, and they ain't getting the airplay that they deserve because of circumstances?
Right. Make sure you guys are giving a thumbs up to the video. Make sure y'all giving a thumbs up if you're enjoying this conversation. You said that in a lot of, like I said, you have your casual fans. You know, I was a big comic book guy when I was a kid. You know, then teenage life happened, and you know, you grew up in Kansas, so you know, no comic books, some other stuff. But you know what I'm saying? It kind of got back to it. A lot of people got their comic book heroes from other publications, where you're talking about cartoons and TV shows and stuff like that. And Jon Stewart was big on that Justice League cartoon. You know what I mean? And I think he got more pop, especially with these, I say, as the millennials, because that was their Green Lantern growing up was Jon Stewart. So I don't look at him as, you know, the same as Wonder Man, because I know that if people's like, hey, Wonder Man in the Ultimate Universe, he was black. I mean, he looked more Puerto Rican, you know what I mean? He was a little darker.
The hair.
Yeah, the hair. I said, I got a good now. I got a, you know, a good grain. You know what I mean? It ain't the whoop-de-doo kit, but you know what I mean. I ain't got the whoop-de-doo, but you know, good grain. You know, but I still like.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
y'all spreading it real thin.
did, yeah. I mean, maybe I was like, maybe this was the time Young Jock got a perm, and it was like, you know what, I'm put Wonder Man with the Young Jock perm, and we just gonna do it like that, or that Usher perm. Maybe we gonna do it like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, tan with a curly. Yeah, I mean, hell, I mean that look like me. You know, if I take my hat off, I mean, forehead kind of big, but it's a little curly up there. You know what I mean? It's close to boycotting MCU film. So Blade just going ham on Twitter about black representation in comic book movies. So there, and honestly, I could not be. I'm not mad at what anyone does. I really don't. If you feel like, hey, I want to boycott the MCU until black representation goes back to where it's supposed to be, I'm not mad at you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at someone who's like, hey, look, I'm invested and I'm going to watch every single movie because this is what I like to do. I'm not mad. You could go any way. But I do really, but my biggest thing is always been my biggest thing. Get real T'Challa back. I don't care about nothing. I don't care who you race swap after that. Get real T'Challa back and I'm good. Not no bastard son. Not none of that. Real T'Challa, I'm good. You can make people green, all of that. I don't care. Until that happens,
what he said, that part right there. We I don't care what y'all do with all the rest of these jokers.
I don't.
The flagship black character, the main black character, we want him, and we don't want his representative.
Yeah.
We don't want who y'all trying to pass off as a recast. Because I've heard people saying he's a recast. No, it's not.
He's a totally different character.
Yeah, you don't get a whole different character and then say that's a recast.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go. Let's because I know that you talk heavy on Black Panther.
I do.
In Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I am starting to see this push because the way that I measure, and I'm gonna be very honest with you because I'm a collector, of course. You got your stuff, you know, you got my stuff in the background and stuff. I got way more than that scattered around here.
Yeah,
but
if I could turn the camera and show you it, this is
stupid.
This is a room filled with action figures and comic books.
Yes. So I'm looking at something. You know, they're saying, oh, Black Panther Wakanda Ever, you know, is a financial success, made $800 something million or whatever. But to measure the impact of a movie, especially MCU movie, I go and I collect the figures. If I can still collect your figures and they're still on the shelf way after the movie come out, I don't think it's successful. And I believe they're still trying to push, you know, let's dumb down this one character to uplift another one, i.e. let's give Shuri all of the, she's a woman of science too, but let's give her all of this, and then T'Challa, he gets none of that. What do you think about that?
I went to Walmart the other day looking for action figures, found that. Okay, that's Batman Beyond. Now
that's sweet.
I'm gonna do an action figure unboxing of it later this week. But guess what I saw packed on the shelves? This was just last week.
Wakanda Forever figures.
Bruh, that Uncle Shuri with the pew kitty claws, man, they got like 11 of them on the shelf. It's a ton of Nakias, a ton of the Atuma, man. You could tell me what you want to tell me, but that shit was not selling.
And my bad. That's my fault. I accidentally was trying to get you unsoloed and put you back on the screen. My fault. But no, you're right. There wasn't a lot on the. I mean, there's ton of that stuff on the shelf.
I'm a rap ton,
dude. I'm a Transformer collector. Like, I mean, I got my stuff or whatever. I got a few action figures because I'm just like basically the stuff that I want I'm gonna get, but I'm not gonna collect every, like my brother, Transformers, anything Marvel. Oh yeah, he got tons of it. You know what I mean? I knew when they reintroduced, and Marvel was smart on this as far as their merch side. They reintroduced that Killmonger and T'Challa Black Panther toy with the actual Chadwick Boseman head, the one that came out with 2019, because the original came out and it was like, yeah, me and my brother call me Yah Man Johnson, and look nothing like Chadwick Boseman. Then they did another one with the Chadwick Boseman head that looked just like Chadwick Boseman, and I was like, they ain't dumb. Why would they reintroduce that? Why would they reintroduce the ones that we already, the people that's in the movie? Why do they have to reintroduce Killmonger and Black Panther T'Challa? You know what I'm saying? The Chadwick Boseman.
Originally, M'Baku was a Build-A-Figure.
Yes, he was a Build-A-Figure.
Now they got, you can just go buy M'Baku.
Matter of fact, Nakia was a builder. Not Nakia. Okoye was a builder in that line where you could go get the Killmonger, all of that. She was a Build-A-Figure. And she sold out the aftermarket. The prices were ridiculous to get a Build-A-Figure for Okoye. Now you just walk up and go get it from Walmart because it's like 80 of them. You know what I mean?
And I feel like that's terrible merchandising on their part.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You could have made a crap ton of money if you would have just backed up and came up with like there's no right now currently there's no Midnight Angel figure.
Yep.
Nope. And that suit was dope.
It
you know what I'm saying? I'm like,
dope.
why? I would have put that out right after the movie dropped. You know, after like maybe like a week or two after the movie dropped. Hey, go cop this Midnight Angel figure. You know what I'm saying? Didn't even think about doing that. You know, we all on this Pum Kitty stuff. We still trying to, sell that off and Ironheart, and that's what we throwing at everybody. Meanwhile, them Jones is on the shelf sick.
Right. And I'm sitting there because I went to go get, I was like, hey, you know what? Because I got my little Black Panther collection over there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm like, they all look like they're getting ready to jump Baron Zemo and Dr. Doom right now. But you know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and get the Shuri figure, and I was disappointed. You know what I mean? No different heads, no nothing. She's light. She fell every time I put her up. Riri Williams figure is too damn big. She's bigger than, she's about the size of M'Baku. I'm like,
yeah. They put a little more junk on the Kia, but that's about it.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there like, okay, when I go like I said, I collect Transformers. You can't even keep like when it's popular. Matter of fact, there was the Studio Series 90, it's called Studio Series, I think 97. That's the one that's from Optimus Prime Dark of the Moon figure, because you could be able to take the trailer and make the wings out of them and stuff like that. And it's a play off of Super God Master Force's version of called him Super God Jinra, but it was Optimus Prime. You know what I mean? From Japan. You gone. Sit there for like 3 days. Gone. This little guy, Cosmo, came out in the series. Gone. You're not gonna find it. I found one. That was it. That's when I know, which they did a limited edition. They were smart, but that's when I know things is cracking, because you won't be able to find it in the store. They can't keep it on shelves. Black Panther figures. My first Black Panther figures was a little cheap, $10, was because I could not find the Killmongers. I could not find the Black Panther T'Challas. I couldn't find them because people will snatch them up. You go on eBay, they $60, $70. That's when I know you got a hit. If you got stuff still on the shelves, ain't nobody buying that. It's a waste. It's like shoes. You know what I mean? I went to go find my lost and found Jordans. They gonna cost me a pretty penny, because originally, you know how much they was going to, because they're gonna sell out. It's a popular brand. So I knew Black Panther Wakanda Forever. You can market all you want, but it's not going to be a popular brand, because all you had to do was set. I would have set that joint into that 5-year period when they was in the blip. So that way you ain't got to have 8 funerals. You just had a funeral. We didn't see his funeral for T'Chaka. We didn't see a funeral for T'Challa during the blip, because he got blipped, and Okoye seen it. And oh my God, the king is dead. They didn't have no thing. You could have did it there. It would have made more sense. You know what I'm saying?
Come nobody showed up to
T'Challa's
funeral outside of Wakanda.
Nobody. I mean, Winter Soldier
Not
didn't
even,
show
not
up.
even. You would think if anybody, Winter Soldier would show up, and definitely Falcon. You know,
Yep.
you owe your whole steez to Wakanda, and you just blow
Nobody,
that off.
nobody showed up. They played to me again. They placed it in the wrong time, and then they still have this whole heart dying because there's poison in the heart-shaped herb is the most or whatever was the disease caused or whatever was probably the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard in my life. And I told everybody when I got the movie, I couldn't focus the first 30 minutes because this is literally a funeral, which I don't understand. Like if Paul Walker died in real life, right?
If he died of a car crash,
If he died of a car crash, and Fast and Furious burnt completely to Chris, you know what I mean? You showed that, you know what I mean?
Nobody, and they bringing him back for 10.
You lying? I still ain't seen that.
Bruh.
I still ain't seen the trailer.
There is literally no excuse for the people at Marvel. You know what I'm saying? You got multiverses, you got time travel, you got magic. What the actual hell?
I can't believe you just told me that.
I can't believe I saw a trailer. I was like, was that possible?
I still haven't seen the trailer.
I mean, even if it ain't for nothing but just like a quick little hot second, they brought him back.
Because they never killed him off. They retired the character. They never killed him off. And that's what I was saying. Even about this. They could have did it what they did in the comics, where they had him in
they're putting his face over his brother.
Oh, that's just like they did last time.
Yeah.
See what I'm thinking would have made Black Panther Wakanda Forever would have made it better instead of killing Chadwick or basically what they re-killed Chadwick all over again. It's basically what they did. Man died in real life, and I did the video. I don't know if you've seen it. Called why Kevin Feige and MCU freed T'Challa, because he was asking for more money because they was talking about bringing Namor in, making Shuri the Black Panther, all of that when he was renegotiating his money. You know what I mean? And Bob Iger was not Bob Iger, Bob Chapek was Chapek was the head of Disney, and we all know how Bob Chapek was doing business. He basically told Scarlett Johansson to go to hell. You know what I'm saying? Because of the negotiations of the contract, that film should have went to theaters, even though we was in a pandemic, and she had to fight for. He
was funneling money in other projects.
Try
to make that one look successful when it really was.
Well, it wasn't. You know what I mean? And Chadwick said, "Hey, my movie is me being the lead. You know, still made $1.3 billion. You know what I'm saying? I think we need to renegotiate the terms in this contract." And I believe, technically, this is just my belief. Just reading the publication, they told Chadwick to go to hell. You ain't getting no money. You know what I'm saying? And don't come in here.
Video? Have you seen? Well, I know you've seen it, where there's somebody interviewing him and they asking him what's going on with Black Panther, and he's saying, "I'm dead. I'm dead.
Yeah,
I'm dead." See, they had plans to do that, whether he died or not. I feel.
Yep, they were gonna gonna push him out the door. What they were gonna do is that if he didn't come down on the terms of this negotiation, because he wanted to go back, but he was like, "Pay me." Or pay me no attention. You know what I'm saying? Which I agree with. You were the first independent individual film, solo film that made that type of money. Not a team up film, individual film. You know what I'm saying? And he knew that they were going to make more money. He continued his story. You know what I mean? That's why I believe he kept, and that was one of the reasons which I said at the time, hindsight's 2020. He was betting on himself. And said, "I'm going to get better. I've been fighting this. I've been doing this and doing that. I'm not going to reveal anything because I know that I can be able to get better," because he was in the middle of a negotiation. He just got through filming his scenes for the Five Bloods, and he was getting ready to film
Ma Rainey's Black
Ma Rainey's. So he felt like, hey, I got a little bit I could be able to do to get my weight up, but I was going to do that. So I believe he bet on himself. That's why he never told Kevin and all of that, "Hey, this is the diagnosis that I'm going with." because he wanted to get that money. Even if he died and he would have got paid, his family would have got paid. And that's what he's looking. And I get that. And I actually commend him for that. To bet on himself is just unfortunate. In November, that publication came out in April, but they were talking about that way prior than that. That, you know, Chadwick wanted more money as negotiated his contract. And I had to scrum the bottom of the barrel of the internet to go back and find that interview. So when I say that was one of the reasons why they basically, I call it the public L word, and you know what I'm talking about, when people used to go ahead and eat chicken wings and stuff like that and watch people just swing low and sweet chariot. You know what I mean? Strange fruit. And that showed other acts like, hey, you ever come in here, strong arm tactics, come in here and ask for more money again after we gave you what we gave you. We put you here. Come and ask us for this again. Watch your character gonna be dead too. And that's what, for me, that's what I believe happened.
And they've literally murdered off the entire royal family. There's literally nobody left.
Yep.
You know, they could have, there was a number of things the way they could have played that. And what I've been doing, I've been throwing a hashtag up. I don't know if you've been seeing it. Hashtag I've been throwing up is Dead T'Challa is a Skrull. You know what I'm saying? Because if we get ready to go off into Secret Invasion, here is yet another opportunity for them to fix the shortcoming that they gave us with Black Panther Wakanda Forever. In the comic books, you see key people. Oh, he's been here all this time, but he's a Skrull. How long the Skrulls been on Earth? Since the 90s?
Since the 90s.
So they done had time to reproduce, and there's more of them. And from the trailer of Secret Invasion, it look like it's going to be a grip of Skrulls on Earth, and they up to no good. So why would it be a stretch for a Skrull to make it to Wakanda?
D-Sizzle, just look at those names and just ask yourself, why you think they got more money? Why you think Robert Downey Jr. got more money? Scarlett Johansson got paid. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
That hue right there.
That
hue is the cue.
All I'm saying is you not gonna come in here and negotiate your contract. And in that we put you there. Now, I know Bob Iger's not like that. Bob Iger operated business. I as much as Grace sometimes gets on my nerves, I still watch her stuff because she does do a lot of good movie news. And I learned a lot about the movie industry as far as the dollar amount, you know, what they're making in the dollars. So that's what I really watch it for. One thing about them is that those after Scarlett Johansson's situation went down, they were talking about getting rid of Bob Chapek then, because I'm gonna be real.
That's dirty pool. Period.
Yeah,
point blank. It was dirty pool.
And I'm gonna be real with y'all. If it wasn't for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Disney was not doing as great as everybody thinks. The theme park was, yeah, you know what I'm saying. You're gonna get money from there.
Still ain't.
But what the MCU did in those 10 years though was brought them up to prop. That's why they could do a Disney Plus and all of that. Even though they got all these IPs with Snow White and Dumbo and all of that, all the stuff they know that they can really make money off of. The MCU brought that real dollar back. They weren't doing no billion-dollar movies and stuff like that. They brought money back to Disney so Disney could be able to bring back up Star Wars. But so basically, Marvel, you know what I'm saying? All the money Marvel was doing, why Disney, that's why right now Star Wars, you know, like people didn't like Andor, but me, I loved it. But, you know, or like these other shows, they could be able to prosper a little more, put a little bit more money behind it. Mandalorian, all this, you know what I mean? Because of what Marvel was doing on their side, bringing all that money up. And then again, Chapek came in and was like, hey, we're going to run this like No Limit Records. This week is your movie. This next week is your TV show. And you know what I'm saying? 52 weeks, we're going to push this out. You can't do that. You know what I mean? So, Marvel is giving, we're going back to what you're saying, Marvel is giving every out to say T'Challa was a Skrull, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. What do you think they're going to do what they did on that Disney cruise that went floating around and have a T'Challa from a multiverse find that Shuri from this universe and merge him over. You know what I'm saying? What do you think is gonna happen?
That's the easier way to do it. I'm not necessarily in for a variant, but I'm willing to capitulate at this point, because right now it seemed like it's gonna be a variant or nothing.
Pretty much.
And we're just gonna have to continue to rage and rail and make noise. But the easier way, and the way that makes more sense to me, would be a lot of people who are deceased now be Skrulls. You know what I mean? And it will figure so heavy into that. You know what I mean? Dude, how many people, not just good guys, not just T'Challa, how many people who are dead can you bring back or say they never went anywhere? They was just held prisoner on a ship by some Skrulls.
Thunderbolt Ross got completely recast.
Yeah.
So even though
and that's my point. They had an opportunity to recast him then. And I've seen like article after article after article where they're talking about, oh, well, here's a script where we wrote it like this, and here's a script where it was supposed to go like this, and at least 3 or 4 of them scripts, T'Challa's alive. So it's like, why couldn't you just get out of your feelings? Because they kept constantly saying emotional decision, emotional this, emotional that. Get out of your damn feelings. Put the character back where he belongs, because you taking him out says you either didn't understand the importance of the character or you didn't care about the importance of the character.
Now, I'm going to go off for D-Sizzle because I like that point you just made, especially when I just brought up something about the Skrulls. And what would be awesome to book in a lot of this stuff. Sharon Carter was a Skrull. This person was a Skrull. This person was a Skrull. That you can say that version of T'Challa was a Skrull.
Just like they used the multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
You could use Skrulls that same exact way.
And I have that comic, the Secret Invasion comic. I have that whole entire run, and it was who do you trust? So do you trust that version of T'Challa was, because you still killed him off, but he was a Skrull. You know what I'm saying? You still killed him.
T'Challa's on a ship somewhere being held prisoner, or he's in stasis somewhere. You know what I mean?
Or he's a state. Say for instance, he's out in space, intergalactic empire. And he's in that stasis.
Or maybe like I don't know if you watched Earth's Mightiest.
I did watch Earth's Mightiest.
But that storyline would have been perfect. They wake up and they own a ship out in space somewhere. And it's like, what are you doing? And T'Challa's on the ship.
And T'Challa's on the ship.
Wow, well, we got to get back to Earth and say, I can fly this. You know what I'm saying? But it would make so much sense and nobody would question it.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking about it like, okay, that was if that was your way of sending off T'Challa.
And you know the cool part? I don't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
You know the cool part about it is, if dead T'Challa is a Skrull, what does that make to Son? Okay. So and then the realization, I'll go even more. And then the realization.
I like that. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me put you full screen. Hold up.
Of Nakia discovering, oh shit, I boned a Skrull. And T'Challa comes back. Oh, you were unfair. And then she gets to become Malice, like she is in the comic. She goes evil. Man, come on, man, put me in Marvel one day. I'll have that jump popping. I'll have that. They'll be like, we're gonna do that, and we're gonna do that.
Where my introduction? Where my Malice comic? Because boy, I was like, dude, man, she needs to be Malice.
Okay.
He needs to be Malice.
Hey, Hey, I tell you, boy, yeah, let me sit down and talk to Bob Chapin for about 5 minutes. Hey, everything will change over at that piece.
Because
If you respect the source material, you ain't got to follow canon to the letter.
Yes.
But damn, at least follow it some. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just go all off the reservation with like Shang-Chi. I'm like, what is all that? Well, I mean, it was good.
You talking about with the 10 rings?
Yeah. What was that?
Now, of course, it's not. It's not the McLuhans. It's not the McLuhans.
One thing in that movie that's canon.
It's nothing. It's nothing. I like because I like kung fu movies. So
I do too. Yeah, and that's why I let it slide.
Yeah, I was like, nah, I gotta let this one slide. It's like could have hinted the Skrulls were behind Civil War, like in the comics, bruh. It was cash grab, dog. I'm just saying, if they turned around, if they do Secret Invasion right from this Disney Plus show. And because if I'm not mistaken, there's a rumor Rhodey is supposed to be a Skrull or something like that. You don't know. You know what I'm saying? Martin Freeman could be a Skrull. You know what I'm saying?
Cool if Rhodey was a Skrull, then that means the real Rhodey can still walk.
You know what I'm saying? They could have been snatched up a long time. Like you said, they could have been in cryo. Like almost like remember in Civil War when they went into that Winter Soldier program and all those Winter Soldier was in cryostasis, but they been around forever. You could do the same thing, except you look at and you see like just it will blow. Now I swear to God, this will have you will hear fireworks and screaming to the hallelujahs and all of that. Let's check this out though. Check this out. You getting ready to go to Secret Wars anyway. But you go in and you see this ship, like you said, they on this ship, and you see this cryostasis, Captain America. You know what I'm saying? Or they're just their name, Sam Wilson or whoever, T'Challa. Did you see that T'Challa?
As an in-scene credit?
You would,
that'll be the in-scene credit to set it off. That'll set it off.
Dude,
somebody said collect
the Asian dollars. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying if they was to do that, you know what I mean? Now they were bold in What If. People didn't like What If, but I like What If because they were bold in their interpretations of different forms of the multiverse. Matter of fact, you had a T'Challa with his leg chewed off.
It was cool. It was cool for what it was, but I felt like other than Star-Lord, every version of T'Challa was booty.
The one that got shot by that version of Killmonger who ended up being like Galactic Killmonger, he ended up getting like shot in the neck or something. I'm like, God, dog.
Or whatever off his mask.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, who takes off their mask? The mask that protects you from that specific type of attack. And you just gonna take it down and be like, go ahead, hit me with it. And I'm just like, boo, boo.
I'm sitting there like, okay, Dana Man, to answer your question, I don't think black folks necessarily mind the swap, but let me say this again. I'm sorry. Necessarily mind the swap change, but will prefer that either bring the actual black characters from the comics or create their own. And I do agree with you on that, Dan the Man. I would like to see a lot more of our characters get into the main MCU. There's still rumor that Adam Brashear is supposed to show up in the Marvels. I don't know if he's going to be actually Blue Marvel, but Adam Brashear is supposedly, according to Grace she get on my nerves, but she been on point on these people will go in there, you'd be surprised. So there's a rumor that Adam is going to be there. Now, if they rewrite him at the last moment, you know what I'm saying, he's out, then I'm going to be pissed. But you know what I mean?
So did she say if it was just going to be regular old Adam Brashear or is he going to be powered?
Well, you don't really have a regular old Adam Brashear either, you know what I mean? Because his character goes back to the 1950s and he's slow to age anyway, so
60s. You know how and this is what I mean about following canon. Now, if they follow canon, there are all kinds of things you could do. You could
Mhm.
tie Adam Brashear in with the quantum universe. Oh my goodness,
Mhm.
look there what you just did. You know what I'm saying? And have him have been there since they said, "Oh, we don't
Yeah,
want no
we
black
don't-
superheroes back in the
Mhm.
1950s," but Disney scared to walk on that ground.
On that
You
line.
know what I'm saying? So you're probably not.
I
gonna
mean,
do
they
that.
tried to do it with Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
They
You know what I'm
tried,
saying? Where they
but
tried
they
to make that
tiptoed.
speech.
They
Yeah, they
tiptoed.
tiptoed.
If you had to just went on in there, go ahead and talk about all of the atrocity. Go ahead and display what it was. Go ahead and say, okay, yeah, this is just like the back in the day with the syphilis experiments and
Mhm.
all of that type stuff. Just go ahead and say it. You know, we know there was a time there was where black people and white people didn't exactly see eye to eye.
It is what it is.
You know, and just be honest. You know, that's what got them where they are today. Honest portrayals in phase one, or somewhat honest portrayals. I mean,
Mhm.
I still say to this very day, of all the Marvel movies, Iron Man is probably the first Iron. That's probably the
The
purest
most-
translation of
most-
a movie to the screen. I mean, they took that much liberty, but that story, all they did was said it happened in Vietnam, but now it's in the Middle East. It was
Yup.
the same exact story.
The same
Nothing
story.
changed.
Yep,
You know what
the
I'm
same
saying?
story. Still had the 10 rings. It just wasn't the man.
Yeah,
well, it
yeah,
was
yeah.
technically.
They were like
was.
actual rings and not
Yeah.
rings. You know, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, I could go with that, but
I
it would have
think
been cooler with the rings.
But I'm not mad at those rings because I don't know what's the name of it, because it's in my head. Kung Fu Hustle, when my man had the rings on his arms. You know what I'm saying? And so I kind of wouldn't, because I ain't gonna lie, that was kind of dope, even though he got whooped. But you know what I mean? If you never seen Kung Fu Hustle, I'm trying to tell you, just sit back, get some popcorn to get ready to laugh. You know what I'm saying?
Kung Fu Hustle, yeah, Kung Fu Hustle's off the chain. My man with the staff, he was like whack, 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 whack. And then they're like, "Oh, you fairy." Like, wait a minute, how is it? What is it? He ran off like a girl. I thought you was gangster with his son. Oh yeah, Kung Fu Hustle's my junk.
Yeah, so that's why I said I kind of I'm kind of not mad. I'm kind of wondering. I'm more intrigued about what is this tech that sent off that beacon is the same tech that Kang the Conqueror was using for his machine, because it does match the same technology and it looks like 31st century technology, that in the bangles that Ms. Marvel had. So I am intrigued in those particular stories and see what those stories is going to be. But I do agree with you a little bit. It will be nice to see 10 rings on your fingers of the McLuhans, and you know what I'm saying, and what they can. I mean, they can do Fing Fang Foom, so you know what I mean. I don't know if you could call them that because of your Asian stereotypes or whatever, but I still call them Fing Fang Foom.
They did. If you blink, you'll miss it. I think they briefly show an image of Fin Fang Foom in the first Iron Man movie, I believe it was. It was on like a little banner, or like when he was flying around, it was a image
of a dragon,
like Fin Fang Foom. So I don't know if they're gonna harken back to that or if that's gonna bite them in the butt. But
right, let me see. I like most of What If episodes. The only drawback, it was restricted to MCU characters, and I do agree with you on that. But again, they want to introduce these other characters from the Fox properties later on, so I know they couldn't do everything, so I do agree with you. Or they could introduce other characters too.
What If was a missed opportunity, because I collected every issue of both runs of
What If.
Them was some amazing stories, and you got the format of animation, so you literally could have done anything.
Mm-hmm.
What if Wolverine became king of the vampires? What if the Venom symbiote got on the Silver Surfer, got on Thor? Bruh, what kind of stories can you tell animated if you incorporate some of that? So I feel like it should have been both. I mean, you should have did cinematic and you should have did some stuff from the comics. I don't think it would have, been too terrible much. If anything, it would have had the the casuals curious, saying, "Oh, who's that? And what is that?" If you're trying to draw more people in.
Mm-hmm. And I'm reading D says it's like, remember the Fantastic Four rumor debuted at Quantumania. Yeah, but for what I understand, if from even the mouth of, I believe it was Peyton Reed, they rewrote the last of that at the last minute. You know what I'm saying? They gave us the ending that they gave it, which I did feel like Ant-Man and Quantumania, the ending was anticlimactic. It didn't stop me from enjoying the movie, but it was a little anticlimactic, and it would have been nice for them to get stuck in the quantum realm. What they were at. It would have been funny if Luis got stuck in the quantum realm somehow. You know what I'm saying? So he could recap everything that just happened. You know what I mean? But it didn't happen. I mean, this was the kickoff. This is basically going into the Secret Wars. So this is door number 1 in the Secret Wars of the multiverse saga. So
do you feel like they on their way back?
As far as like if they on their way back to the greatness,
that Marvel they was in phase 1 and phase 2?
To me, their greatest phase to me was phase 3, because the story you got.
Well, right. But I'm saying,
but as far as like, I think they needed to slow down, because I did that podcast about basically superhero burnout, where you starting to see all of this, and then us as casual fans.
I did one.
Yeah, and us as you have the casual fans, you got the hardcore fans. Me, I eat this stuff up because I've been a Marvel fan since I was a little kid, and like I was telling on one of my shows, I remember me and my uncle watching the Incredible Hulk syndication show back in the day, because it was a big Bill Bixby fan, and watching Spider-Man, the live action show. You know what I mean? With my uncle. Yeah, with the one web.
And they showed the same scene of him swinging on every scene. And I was like, man, when we gonna get something different, man? Why don't y'all do something different? And he crawling on the wall.
Yeah. That's where I got, Spider-Man and his Amazing Friends, that type of stuff. So that's where I was at. So I've been more invested in Marvel, even compared to DC, because all I used to watch was Superman, the old Superman cartoon. You know what I mean? From like, what was that, the 1950s or whatever it was, in that type of stuff. But when it came to Marvel, X-Men, Spider-Man, it was my joint. So I couldn't help but watch those. So I have hope. And I have hope because it's so many things. We just literally discussed scrolls. They could course correct everything that just happened in phase 4. They could change everything around that scene. Just thinking about a scene that reveals that everybody that you thought was dead or anything was in cryostasis this whole entire time, and we got to find a ways to get these heroes out. That will make people more excited about what are they doing. Now you're blowing people's minds. Now you're like, okay, what did I just watch? You know what I mean? So it's always a hook, line, and sinker that's going to get you in. It's if they're going to pull the trigger on that hook, line, and sinker. Because if we're thinking this, they're thinking this. To me, you know what I mean? Because it's just not out of realm of possibility. They're probably looking at those numbers for real. They're looking at these numbers. It's saying, we could do better in Black Panther 3. Maybe we do need to introduce a T'Challa. So this is the way we'll do. I'm telling you, Marvel ain't dumb. Let's put them on a Disney cruise and let's see how people will react. And we'll just film it and throw it out on the internet and just see the reaction to it. Just to see the reaction. Did people be like, that ain't my T'Challa, that ain't Chadwick? No, that was like, oh snap, they brought Black Panther back. I told you they could be able to bring it back in the multiverse and blah, 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 blah. Wasn't no anti-recasters like, yo, this is the most sickening thing because look what you did. You brought my character back. He's dead. I want him to keep dead. No.
Well, we know from several head-to-heads on Twitter that anti-recasters merely regurgitate what they've heard or what they've been told, because when you try to get them to drop spot-on facts, it either becomes emotional or they just kind of darken out or whatever. Oh, you're stupid. Oh, you're a clown. You know, Yeah, so
like somebody we know from New Rock Stars.
exactly.
I ain't gonna say no names. I'm a fan of Eric Voss, but he said that new car smell back. He said it's that new car smell back. I like that. But yeah, I'm gonna have to clip this. That what you just said, the Malice and Straw Baby idea. Man, you could turn.
Bruh, I did it, and it did, and it did not take a whole lot of thinking to come up with that. And if you had enough time, I could do a whole show where I just come up with scenarios for how they could bring T'Challa back. They laugh. What my man say on Spider-Man 2? Brilliant but lazy.
Hey, look, I got about 33 more minutes. We can talk about it. Let's do it. What are some of the ways we can bring them back?
Okay, first, the blip.
Mm-hmm. That was one.
The blip is the obvious one. He's a Skrull. That's one I said. I said. Now, in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, when they had that funeral, the casket went where? Up. Why did the casket go up? Where did the kings of Wakanda go? I mean, I know they don't listen to canon, but ain't the kings of Wakanda entombed in the necropolis?
Yeah.
Okay, so instead of going up, why didn't they go to necropolis? And it would be a very easy thing for the kings of the dead to come together and say,
"You're the king of the dead.
It is not your time. You must go back." Why couldn't you do that? We already in the magic, right?
And there's another way you could do it. And I brought this up.
Let me hear another one.
There's another way. So in episode 4 of Moon Knight gets shot, goes into the Duat. You know what I'm saying? Goes and talks to the guy, the hippopotamus guy. And said, there's a way you could come back from the dead. You're dead. He was in the field of weeds. He was dead. Right. Just like how T'Challa went into the ancestral plane. That's where you go. Same thing with Jane Foster and Valhalla and Heimdall and all of them. Right? They're in their realm.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken, Mark Spector got up out of there.
Yes, he did.
And went back to the land of the living. Now you could do the King of the Dead storyline. You know, bring in Brother Voodoo, bring in other characters, do the King of the Dead storyline. You know what I mean? And say, hey, you know, like you obviously in real life, I think this way heavily on Letitia Wright. You know what I'm saying? I know personally she wasn't ready for that. She's not a main. I'm sorry. Her performance is great in the movie because I'm just let's get out of me just saying anything about Wakanda Forever as a Black Panther story and look at it as a movie. You know what I'm saying? As a movie itself, it is very good. If it wasn't a Black Panther movie, if it was random characters I ain't never heard of, and this was a story, I can sit and watch that. Now, Letitia Wright, I don't think she was ready for top billing spotlight. She doesn't carry she doesn't have that it. She's not like Angela Bassett. Angela Bassett commands the screen when she's on there. So you see her, you feel her. With Chadwick was on screen the first time you introduced him in Civil War. When you introduced him, the way that he moved and the way that he spoke and the way that he commanded the screen, there's an it factor. Letitia Wright doesn't have that it factor. So the heads of Marvel Studios to come back and really look at this and say, I'm gonna be honest with you, she doesn't have it. So let's go ahead and reintroduce.
Commanded the screen.
Yeah.
At no time. I feel like anytime she was on the screen, she was being overshadowed and outacted by someone else on the screen.
Absolutely. So this is where you could do King of the Dead. You know, she already had a problem with Boss, which was a big thing in the Hunley run, where she went to go ask the Panther God, the Panther Goddess Boss.
She was initially rejected.
And she was she was like, no, you cannot be here. You know what I mean? I don't want you here. And you know, of course, T'Challa came out of limbo with the help of Storm. If you're going to introduce Storm, you can introduce it in a way to bring him out of limbo too. You know what I'm saying? It's so many ways to
Good old fashioned time travel.
Time travel.
Okay,
so
since
go ahead.
that's the
Go ahead
whole
on that
thing,
one.
let's just pluck him at that point where Killmonger's about to not Killmonger, where he just got done with Killmonger and Killmonger falls out and they looking at the sun. Pluck him from there.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. You got a fully functioning, battle ready, battle tested, good to go Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
There's tons of ways, man.
We talked about the variant.
And how come we don't have just a show about all the Black Panthers?
And I think they're supposed to be doing a Broadway musical on that. Bashenga, they're talking about Bashenga, but we all know the original Black Panther was Black Panther 1 million BC was the original one.
Mosey is his name.
Yeah.
So Bashenga is a Black Panther.
It's a Black Panther,
and not the Black Panther.
Right.
But I mean, you got Mosey, you got Bashenga, you got Nahanda, you got Shuri. Not Shuri. Azari.
Good.
Can we see T'Chaka's story?
Yeah, T'Chaka's.
I would love to see a T'Chaka movie. I'd be there for that. The actor who played T'Chaka in the movie is actually the son of the other actor who played T'Chaka in Civil War.
Yes.
We could have either one or both. I think the father passed.
The father's still alive.
Okay, they're both still alive.
They're still alive.
Why can't we do that story? I'd be there for that.
Mm-hmm.
There are a ton of ways.
I talked about when we talking about the variants, I talked about the incursion that can happen in a version of, you can have it damn near their universe is the same mirror as ours, but in his, he gets hit with an incursion and he's the last surviving member that leaves that incursion universe before it's destroyed. In that way, he could be able to go into a place like he wakes up in Wakanda. You know what I'm saying? Like, where am I at? And you have the door on them. You know what I'm saying? Because there's this whatever going on. There's this. You could do it like Terminator. This is an electrical field. This is an electrical occurrence. You see the door go out there. You know what I'm saying? Let's go find out what's going on. And you see, Black Panther just laying there. In they, footsteps running up. He looks up and said, "Where am I?" You know what I'm saying? And the door is on them, and they're shocked. And then you see him. You don't even have to have the actor's face. Just see him in what I would like to see is the Black Panther with the cape on, with the, you know what I'm saying, with the with the crest with the cape. You know what I mean?
The long cape or the short cape?
The short cape. The one for Fantastic Four. The one for Fantastic Four number 53. You know what I'm saying? He came from that universe. You know what I mean? And he's plucked. I mean, he's last surviving member of an incursion, because that's what we're going through right now. Dr. Strange, you cause an incursion. The incursion started with this. You have now started incursion. Have an incursion in this one. He wakes up and they be like, "Oh my goodness, is it the king?" And then you just have him stand there, Black Panther mask on. Matter of fact, because I got the "Don't You Fall." This one.
Yeah.
That look. Just that look.
It's
you know what
right
I mean?
Here. Yeah, that one.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have quite a few Black Panthers. One or two.
Now he I'm about to say now he wants, you better stand up. But that's what I'm saying. So you can always there's ways that you can bring them. An incursion storyline where the incursion happened on the universe. He just got plucked from the universe. Secret Wars. You're gonna all be on Battle World. Get a Black Panther. Man, you can have you can keep Shuri. And I'm not saying get rid of Shuri, but pluck him, bam, right into that universe.
And we said for the better part of a year, and got called misogynist and misogynoir because we said we didn't want T'Challa to die. They thought that translated to them into Shuri ain't good enough to be Black Panther. Nobody said anything about Shuri. I don't know how many times and I have to clarify that every time an opportunity comes up to say so, because people are quick to throw out misogynoir, and why do you have to have a special word just for black women? Why can't it just be woman hate, period? Why do black women got to have a particular name for their hatred? Goodness, y'all doing the most.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And that's why I was celebrating. That was like, well, there sure was Black Panther in the comics. I was like, tell me what happened in that comic. Tell me what happened during Dark Reign. Tell me.
Please, I'd love to hear it. Yes, I'd love to hear it.
During Doom Wars. Tell me
And
what
they
happened
can't tell
during
you.
Hunley's run.
And they can't tell you to this very day, every engagement I've had has ended with either folks not responding or blocking me or cutting me off or some mess like that. And I'm just like, so why did you even start this conversation? You know what I'm saying? You brought a knife to a gunfight.
Right.
You know?
And so, you know, she wasn't Black Panther. Actually, technically, to me, her character is even more defined now that where she is and when she was trying to become during Reginald Hunley's run. One thing what I really like about his run, he made Shuri ambitious about trying to be Black Panther and try to be queen and thinking she could run everything. And she got quickly had to bend the knee to T'Challa like, I wasn't ready for all this. I was tripping. You know what I'm saying? It was too much. And it was in that comic run. It was way too much. You know what I mean? Either he died in the comic, like, no, he didn't. He was in a coma. You know what I mean? He was in limbo. You know what I mean?
And that's my whole thing. And another thing a lot of people don't pay attention to, when T'Challa got ambushed by the Cabal.
And by the Cabal, they beat the race out of him.
What did they do to him? The face, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the perfect vehicle to put another actor there and say, we had to reconstruct some stuff because they messed his face up. Come on now.
Hold on. You said that if my brother brought up, I don't know if you remember, it was the 90s run of Punisher, where they had Punisher black and his face got messed up and they reconstructed his face to a black man. Yeah. So I'm telling you, that's why there's certain ways you could do certain things.
All kinds of ways, man.
But I don't even. So the only reason why I don't buy the whole face thing, because we know the difference between William Hurt and Harrison Ford. Man, that's Indiana Jones. That's Han Solo.
And Harrison Ford gonna be scowling all day. He's just gonna be scowling, you know what I mean? That mustache ain't gonna have that scowl. I'm like, that's Han Solo with a porn stash.
Han Polo.
There you go.
You know what I mean? So I don't even buy the whole, we could just do it different. That's us placating the other black people who didn't want to let Chadwick Boseman go. You know what I'm saying? That's the equivalent of you going to your cousin's funeral and you see that one person, that one family member that's crying on the casket and trying to get in. You know what I'm saying? Trying to put their arm around the dead person and talk to them. You know what I'm saying? They really think they're going to jump out of the grave or jump out of that casket and go be with you. No, they are gone. Let that person's body is gone. Let them go. And that's people that's holding on to Chadwick as Black Panther and not looking at, number one, the historical significance of the Black Panther T'Challa, the way the story is written for T'Challa. You do have other Black Panthers, but the story is about T'Challa. When you go back and you read Fantastic Four number 52 and you look at this cover and you say, wow, what is this story about? He's talking about him and his struggle. You know what I mean? That is the story is about him. That's just like, we know about Thomas and Martha Wayne, but the story is about Batman. You know what I'm saying? No matter how much they retell the story of Thomas and Martha Wayne getting killed, the story is about Batman. I'm saying that right? Yeah. The story is about Batman. You know what I'm saying? It's about Bruce Wayne becoming Batman, just like it's T'Challa becoming the Black Panther. He protects Wakanda. Batman protects Gotham. You know what I mean? There's really no difference in their characters. You know what I'm saying? Except one struggles because one has to be two different people, which he has a finite thinking of maybe I'm Batman and not really Bruce Wayne, and Bruce Wayne is a persona. You know what I'm saying? And the other side, you got Game of Thrones, but black people style. You know what I'm saying? People who want the throne. people who want to be able to take over Wakanda, all these different things that we did not get because they didn't want to tell that story. What they really wanted to tell is happy black people story. And this is a 4 year for black people. And we can just be all happy and go lucky and nothing ever happens. That's not reality, Nate Moore. That's not reality, Riley Googler. Even in the publications, they were mad at T'Challa when Dr. Doom tried to steal all the vibranium. He was like, nope, and made sure it was inept. You know what I'm saying? What they do, they kicked T'Challa right the hell out of there because the politics of Wakanda was important. You know what I mean? And we never dove into the political aspect of Wakanda and how the other tribes looked at him. Why doesn't Baku hate him so much? He's not, people get off that. Well, Baku needs to be the Black Panther. No, the hell he don't. Just like how Nakia doesn't need to be his love interest. She need to be a psychopath who's trying to bring him and Storm up. If you want to know the truth. But yeah, y'all want to tell me who, you know, when Shuri was Black Panther and all this other mess. Get out of here.
And I just sum all that up with 3 words. Reading is fundamental. Okay, if you ain't reading no comic books, you cannot have this conversation. If your expertise on T'Challa the Black Panther begins in 2016 with Captain America Civil War, you are not built to have this conversation. Stop it, and stop it. You know?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It gets M'Baku should be a goon, most definitely. Even if I know they didn't want to use the Man-Ape name because of racial tension. You still could have gave that man some type of white gorilla outfit or something made out of vibranium.
You could have called him the White Gorilla.
Yep. Because they called him the Great Gorilla.
That would have been perfect, wouldn't it? The White Gorilla.
Just saying. I'm just saying. Do you got any other ways we could bring T'Challa back?
Let's see. Magic.
Magic.
We glazed over magic. There's a couple different ways you can do it with magic. There's a couple different ways you can do it with time travel. You got the multiverse. You got variants. There are enough
ways you can do it.
There are enough to the point where it negates Nate Moore saying we just couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, you just couldn't do it because you just didn't want to.
Right.
Not because you couldn't. I mean, if you're emotionally compromised, again, and I know several people have said it, maybe y'all should have sat y'all asses down and not made the movie yet. Yep. There's nobody who would have been pissed off if they said, okay, we're going to push Black Panther Wakanda Forever back to 2023, 2024. Who would have been mad? As long as there was a T'Challa in it, I'd have waited till 2026. You know what I'm saying? As long as I got to see T'Challa again, I'm cool with whatever y'all trying to do. Just put T'Challa in it. But they didn't want to do that, and they shot themselves in the foot.
Let me ask you a question. Would you be happy if a variant version of T'Challa raised Toussaint? Would you be happy with that? If they brought a variant, or you know what I'm saying?
Happy if
will you be variant, because they already brought the character out, so there's really nothing we can do about that.
My thing with that would be, no, I would not, for the simple fact that means at some point he's going to take over as the Black Panther, and we have not finished telling T'Challa's story yet. T'Challa got a story to tell. Every other major character in the Marvel universe got a 3-movie story arc that had the title Captain America in it, that had the title Thor in it, Iron Man in it,
Ant-Man
got 3, and they all got 3 movies. You ain't gave T'Challa a second movie yet. So why are we just gonna cut his story short and say, and let's get started? Let's get started with Junior now. Nah, if anything, and people gonna hate me, kill him. Kill him off. You know what I'm saying? How much gravitas would that have? And I mean,
Yeah.
Ryan Coogler is the unadulterated king of trauma porn. So I mean, that would be his crowning achievement. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and kill him. And I ain't saying that because I'm being hateful. I'm saying it because you gave every other character a story arc.
So
let that be a part of T'Challa's story arc.
So
he
would
meets
you?
his son, he bonds with his son, he loses his son, all in one movie.
So would it be something like, let's say we do the scroll thing?
Okay,
You know what I mean? And we kind of seen this in The Last of Us, and there's a reason why I'm bringing this up.
Okay.
So he gets his son. Well, he could. You get another T'Challa from another universe. He goes off and he meets this other T'Challa with suicide. And come to find out, you know what I'm saying? He got scroll powers. He turned to be a little evil, little scroll, little thing, and he gets wasted after spending all this time with him. One, that's Phrygian, but Phrygian always is used as a motivational tool to be able to, get the character, motivation to be able to defeat the bad guy, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Right. Could you see that, or would you see a younger T'Challa from another universe? The reason why I'm saying younger, so you get maybe a 25-year-old T'Challa at this time. You know what I mean? He comes over from an incursion because now this incursion that's starting in the MCU that we're in now kills all of the T'Challa Jr., a lot of this crap that we don't like. And then they kick it off with the new T'Challa. Would you like that too? Like he tries to save him during the incursion of this Earth, and he couldn't.
If it's clean slate T'Challa and we're starting off with he's carving out his legend moving forward.
Legend. Yes, he's carving out his legend moving forward.
I would be for that because that's what should have been done. Because we do the hero's journey with all of these other characters. That everybody gets that you're presented, you're young, you're rookie, you're green.
Yep.
You deal with an antagonist. That antagonist either sets you back or makes you have to go back and rethink or redo some stuff. You get better. You come back. You best your antagonist. That's that part of the hero's journey. We got that with the first Black Panther movie. Move forward from there. Okay, I keep saying it, and I know everybody else has been saying it too. The worst thing you could have did was kill off Claw.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that was a great villain. You know what I'm saying? You could have got Claw, I dare I say, could have got the mileage out of him that Loki did. Because Andy Serkis is an amazing actor, and you could have got a bunch of movies out of Andy Serkis. You know? But we decided, let's go with this, drop me in the ocean with my ancestors thing. You know what I'm saying? And we had to go with him, and not to say that wasn't it was a way to go, but I feel like it wasn't the way to go because the biggest storyline had to do with Claw in the comics.
Yes.
Right? Claw is the one who's responsible for killing his father, not Zemo.
Yes.
And regardless of what the situation or the circumstances was, T'Challa should have taken care of that situation. Not the living are not finished with you yet. Yeah, we are. We finished. You killed my daddy. We finished with your ass.
Right.
And be done with it. But Marvel, MCU stuff.
It's just to me, and you can answer this. Just to me, it just seems like any other white character could kill they villain, and it's not a problem. But T'Challa had to be this one, the soft-hearted one when it came time to that. Like, I'm just being honest. You know what I mean?
And that is so out of character.
Yeah, because T'Challa does not play.
When Namor flooded Wakanda
in X-Men versus comics, X-Men versus
Avengers,
it
was on every time he saw Namor.
He was on sight.
And his ancestors even got on him, bruh. When you gonna kill that fool? When you gonna get rid of? Do you see what he did to the city? You better pick that up. Everybody telling him. Even his sister, put the knife where it belongs.
Right.
And eventually he did.
Mm-hmm. And Jonathan said his sister too, because
Cinematically though, not so much.
Yeah, Jonathan, basically, Black Panther Wakanda Forever was Black Panther, the first movie, just swapped out the different people. You swap out the king for the queen dying. You swap out Namor for Killmonger, and you swap out T'Challa for Shuri, and you got another version of Black Panther all over again, except with an emotional beat, and that's with T'Challa. You still got Everett Ross doing what he was doing. You know what I mean? They just wanted the vibranium, which Claw wanted in the original movie. It's the same movie, except a little worse. You know what I'm saying?
It's a really okay. Now, and help me understand this. Now, in the comics, technologically, Wakanda gave
you said Killmonger.
They gave Atlantis all they could handle.
Mm-hmm.
Firepower wise, shoot, Wakanda's even went down to Atlantis and was put in
wrecking shop. Yeah, okay. Wrecking shop.
But in the movie, they getting beat up with water bombs and
water balloons
and singers.
Yes.
Okay.
Mermaids.
Okay, so that wasn't ridiculous to nobody else.
Man, first of all, I was like, if I could beat people up with water balloons, I would never lose. I go invade the White House right now if I could just water balloon the mess out of people.
Okay.
What up, Chillmonger? Shout out to my man Chillmonger.
He said, "What up, Chill?"
He said, "Uh-oh, the Kansas connection, Kansas City, Kansas."
There you go. Get it right. But
Kansas City.
But he's from Montreal, isn't he?
Yeah, no, I thought he was from Calgary. I mean, it's a Canadian thing.
One of those Canadian countries. I'm messing with you, Chill. I'm messing with you, man. It's all love, bro. It's all love.
He was like, I'm never inviting those Kansas Negroes back to my show. Skip them.
That's my dude, though, man.
Yeah, Chillmonger, man. Shout out to Chillmonger, man.
He keeps it a buck.
Yes, sir. I love when Chillmonger comes in here. He always has me rolling every time he comes in.
Hey,
but
boy,
yeah,
that representation video, man.
That's what we talking about right now, man.
Some kind of award, bro, because that was on point. That was so on point.
Yeah. And to go back to what you were saying, like when I started reading Black Panther comics, I was like, man, the first person I thought of was like, he's like Batman. And technically, I got on Black because I told you I'm a Deadpool. I'm talking about fanatic. So I got on. I'm reading I forgot. I think Deadpool. This was during the whole Hydra Cap thing because I'm reading Deadpool at this time.
Secret Empire.
The Secret Empire. Yeah. And I'm just now getting money where I could be able to go buy comics again. You know what I'm saying? Because I was broke for a while. So I'm like, I'm reading Secret Empire and it was Deadpool's run, and I'm like, Black Panther, he's pissing Black Panther off. Even Deadpool says, wait a minute, you're a whole lot nicer in the comics because man, Black Panther is beating the brakes off of him because he about to ruin like the next season of not House of the Dragon, but Game of Thrones. And he was like, you better not ruin it for me. He gets to talking and beats the brakes off of him. You know what I mean? And he was like, you're a whole lot nicer in the movies. And I was like, let me start getting, I get a little money in my pocket. Let me go back and start getting this collection back again. And man, I'm reading, I'm like, this is like Batman. He does not play games. Like I said, Civil War was the first one until the end. I'm like, nah, he would have killed dude right there. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't have showed him no mercy. He
gave everybody that
mercy
in Civil War.
Oh yeah,
that's how he should have been all the way through. He came out. He gave Bucky that work. Captain America had something to say about it. He gave Captain America that work. Falcon decided he wanted to help. Falcon got that work. You know what I'm saying? And if he'd had time and a way to figure it out, he might have gave War Machine that work too. So, hey, y'all better leave that king alone. He's mad.
And then also, like I said, the politics. We never got T'Challa as king and as ruler and what that entails every day. You know what I
Right.
mean? Even if they would have did, instead of just focusing on the land of Wakanda, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't care. And the only reason why I don't care because we need to tell his story first. So even if they came out and said, okay, we're gonna do a Black Panther Disney Plus series, and we're gonna, show you what it is day to day as a king. I would have been fine on it if you're not gonna give it to me in the movie. What you're gonna give it to me in the movies? This is a hot seller. You know what I mean? But give me something where I'm seeing him not with no love interest. Like, damn the love it. They shouldn't even introduce Nick as love interest in the first movie anyway. Just like with Tony Stark, let's spend time with him in his integral parts and just by himself figuring things out. Like I love Iron Man 2 when he's making that element because this is the first time we really got to see him just by himself trying to figure crap out. Let me figure my life out. Let me figure what I'm supposed to do. I didn't know if the old man loved me, he would have left something for me. And come to find out he did. It was all a payoff later on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why can't we get that with T'Challa?
You saw Tony Stark being Tony Stark.
Yes.
Okay. You didn't see T'Challa being T'Challa.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It was like a cookie cutter version of T'Challa. And that tells me that the people who wrote that didn't delve enough into it and ask the question, what makes T'Challa tick? And that's
true.
Nakia.
No, it's not.
He got a whole lot of other stuff that makes him tick.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I would have liked to see more of him interacting with the Avengers.
Yes.
I'd have liked to see that, but we didn't get enough of that. It's like he was an afterthought in Infinity War. We never really even got to see him, do anything until it was time to fight.
Right.
We could have seen what was going on with him before all of that stuff went down. Why didn't we get to see any of that?
Or just him and Tony. What would have been nice, because he is a science bro, is him and Tony Stark sitting down and they're talking science, just like we got with him and Bruce Banner. You know what I'm saying? Them talking science and how we going to be able to fix this and what changes we need to do. These type of elements we can be able to do to innate the Infinity Stones. Him doing that. We never, even when Bucky was at cryostasis, they were like, "Oh, we'll take care of," but we never got to see him. You know what I'm saying? Actually doing his science thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think that's
about how he helped,
but Bucky. We never saw it.
That part.
We never saw it. It's just like Fantastic, and this is gonna be the last part before I start wrapping this up. Fantastic Four number 53. You got a part where it's just is him, Reed Richards, it's T'Challa and the Fantastic Four, and they're trying to figure out, like, first of all, how the hell you get all this stuff? Who made this? Why is this a technological marvel? This and the other. And him just talking, him interacting, him being just himself. You know what I'm saying? Not being a fighter. You know what I'm saying? Not being just reduced as muscle. You know what I'm saying? Not just being reduced as cannon fodder for, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, so he could get dusty and come back later.
Not comfortable.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Put on his regular togs, sat around, had folks dancing and feeding you, and giving you gifts, and I'm telling you my story, so you can understand what makes me tick.
Yeah, and we really just never got that. Yeah, and Jonathan, that was the problem for me.
According to the writers, that's the most important part of this.
Yeah, according to the writers, because that was the part that upset me the most about that first movie, is because they could have had Shuri just ambitious young teenager. You ain't got to make every woman smart. I'm not saying there's not, and don't get this the wrong way. But every character shouldn't be smarter than the main character. Just like Morgan Stark being smarter than Tony Stark. You know what I'm saying? Or Pepper Potts being smarter than Tony Stark. That'd be preposterous. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying. Be preposterous. It's inconceivable. T'Challa and Reed chopping it up in the side.
Yeah, exactly. That kind of stuff. Yeah. And ain't Reed one of his best friends?
Man. But Reed respected him from that first, from when Stan wrote that comic. He made it so the smartest man in the world respected the smartest man in the world. You know what I mean? Game recognized game, homie. I see you. It's all good. The way you whooped us, I don't want to beef with you anyway.
He folded them in 52, boy. I was like,
God.
man, I'm still
my
trying to get my
God.
Black Panther figure to do that pose where he's kicking Johnny Storm
Yeah.
and King at the same
At the
time. I was
same
like,
time.
dang, he did him already. So yeah.
And if you guys want to recap on 52 and 53, and I know you did Black Panther 2099. I did a recap on 2099, just told the complete story. Go back and watch it on my channel. I actually read the whole entire comic of 52, 53, and 2099 if you guys want to check it out. Man, my man D-Real has been in the house, man. I appreciate you, my brother. Reasons before the States.
Respect. Kansas City into another, bro.
Most definitely.
You. I appreciate you having me on the show, man. You do tight, efficient work, bro.
Appreciate it.
Keep doing what you do, man. I enjoy your lives.
Yeah, me too, man. I come in, I be at work. That one time I was literally outside where I work at Ford and Clay Como. So I'm out there, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing inventory or whatever, getting ready to do some adjustments on the tailgate. And I was just looked up and I seen your live. I was like, okay, I'm gonna just check in his live while I'm checking his tailgate. It's literally 10 degrees outside. It's 10 degrees. And I gotta adjust these tailgates. Mad. Got my loader truck running. You know what I'm saying? So I'm checking in with you. You know what I'm saying? We chopping it up.
Hey, I'm here. Hey, I'm here in Alaska, man. I had the snowblower out doing my driveway one time, and I had the earbud in listening to your jump, man. So yeah, real recognize real.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Again, tell the folks where they can find you at, man. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up.
Okay. Me, D-Real. I am on YouTube at Be Real with D-Real. I do videos Monday through Friday, some on the weekends, and on Wednesdays, I am here on the radio locally on KONR 106.1 Out North Radio, and I'm playing, a little bit of R&B, a little bit of hip hop, and we talking about the issues of the day, and that's at 11 a.m. Pacific time to 12 noon. That's on Wednesdays, every Wednesday. So that's what I'm doing. And then also, like I said, I do improv. Check for me putting a live up where I put a whole entire show, and y'all can, tell me if you like it, tell me if you hate it, whatever. But I'm gonna keep doing what I do.
That's what's up. And make sure y'all to go ahead and follow Be Real with D-Real. Make sure that they click the link. The link will I'm gonna update this video. His link to his YouTube channel will be on there. So make sure that you like, share, subscribe to his channel. Make sure you hit the bell notification so you never miss another episode. D-Real, I'm going to put you in the back of the studio, man, while I close this out. But again, I appreciate you, my brother, for coming on my show, chopping it up with me, man. It's always a pleasure, and most definitely we gonna do this again.
For sure, fam. For sure. Appreciate you.
All right. All right, guys. I thank you so very much for hanging with me today. I thank you so very much for kicking it with me as always. Everybody in the chat and all of that. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell notification so you never, ever miss one of my videos again. Until next time, I'll holler at y'all later. Peace and vibe higher. You already know I'm out.
If you came to this portion of the video, thank you so very much for sticking around for the entirety of the video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell notification so you never miss one of my videos. And if you want to get a little more personal with me, hit me up on my Instagram, hit me up on Twitter, or any of the social medias that you see below you. Until next time, I'll holler at you guys later. Peace and vibe higher.